You got a soul to say. I just been cooking that note. I'm about to drop in the flow. Think if I call it the great, the people gon' call it the truth.
Bismillah Rahman Rahim, brothers and sisters, we are back. You're listening to Straight Words on WVON 1690, the talk of Chicago. It is good to be alive on this July 9th, 2024. Of course, Straight Words is being brought to you by none other than some of the greatest editors that have ever been on the planet. My favorite brothers and writers. They are on the line tonight. Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, editor-in-chief of the Final Call newspaper. Assalamu alaikum, big brother. How you doing?
Wa alaikum salam. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing great, doing great. And, of course, our other great big brother, contributing editor of the Final Call newspaper, Brother James G. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How you doing?
Wa alaikum salam, Brother BJ, man. It's all good. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling good. Ready to rock and roll, as they say.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, we want to thank Almighty God, Allah, for preserving our lives and, allowing us to be here in this crazy world.
Every day.
When you look around, all this stuff that's happening, brother, and we still here. So, first of all, we just want to say we're grateful for this opportunity to be before you tonight. And Brother Naba'a, Brother James G., we got a great show lined up with some great guests. So I know you want to get into that and talk about what we got coming up.
Yes, sir. Brother BJ, I mean, it's really, when you say we have to thank Allah for our lives, we really do. And not in a way where we are just kind of making a really perfunctory statement. Over the July 4th weekend,
yes,
we had 100 people shot in the city of Chicago, and I believe 8 had died as of a couple days ago. So that's really distressing.
Yeah.
I wrote an editorial dealing with the need for us to stop this fratricidal violence against one another, which is in this week's Final Call newspaper. But it is absolutely one of the things that brothers and sisters look. We are taught now, and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been in America almost 100 years now. Now, remember, in the Bible it says Noah preached for 125 years before the flood came.
Right.
So if you doubt the warning of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, remember Noah. Remember Noah, because we ain't at 125 years yet.
Right.
So we still got some years to go. But if you look at all the signs, brothers and sisters, if you look at the fact that we are the number one killers of one another. Now, you might say, well, Brother Naba'a, statistics show that people are more likely to commit crimes or kill or harm those who live near them, right? So white folks live near white folks for the most part. They kill white folks. Black folks live near black folks, so they kill black folks. Well, now it's a little bit deeper than that, brothers and sisters, because the level of violence among us, we are basically the most prone, men, women, and children, to die from a homicide. We got a real situation here, and I'll say this, and then brothers, you all can kind of weigh in, because it's a couple things I'm going to mention, and we can kind of come back to them. We believe, brothers and sisters, that God himself came.
Right.
Just like the prophecy of Abraham says that he would, right?
Right.
That God would come after Abraham's seed had spent 400 years in bondage in a land that was not theirs, and they would be essentially afflicted and persecuted and oppressed. And then it says, the Bible speaking, after that time, that God himself would come and judge the people that they have served and deliver them. We don't find anyone else, brothers and sisters, in the history world history that fits that description, except the black man and woman of America. So if God himself came to save us, and I want you to bear with me for a minute, right? And frankly, brothers and sisters, I don't see how God himself could not come to save us.
Right.
And if you would tell me that God showed up for the children of Israel, God showed up for Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro, and God delivered all these people in the past throughout the Bible and the Holy Quran, right? But here we are suffering in America, and you telling me there's a divine supreme being, and he couldn't see and hear and respond to our suffering? I tell you what, brothers and sisters, I don't need a God that ain't intimately involved in our suffering. Remember this. Jehovah wasn't the God. He was God Almighty, but he wasn't the God of all the people. Well, how can you say that, Brother Naba'a? Because it says in the Holy Quran, and you get the same attitude in the Bible. When Jehovah sent Moses to Pharaoh in the Holy Quran, it says basically, when Moses said to Pharaoh that he had come representing God, the supreme being, Pharaoh says to Moses, I don't know of any God other than myself.
Come on.
Right? So the God of Moses and the children of Israel was not the God of Egypt, was not the God of Pharaoh. Right? Okay. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that this divine supreme being made his appearance in North America, July 4th, 1931, and you can go to finalcall.com and read all about that in last week's edition. And you can get all the information you need. But I just want you to consider this. If God came to save us from our oppressors that have murdered, lynched, raped, hung us from trees, dissected us, experimented on us, castrated men and women, destroyed us. But if God came to save us, how do you think it looks to him, brothers and sisters?
That's right.
That we are destroying one another.
That's right.
We really need to be real careful. This is not the day when we should be destroying and in such disunity, killing one another, killing babies, killing mothers, doing things that really we've never done in our history. When I was coming up, you didn't go to somebody's house and just start shooting. Matter of fact, when I was growing up, if you had a problem with somebody, and that problem was with their mother, their grandmother, or maybe even a child, you didn't do whatever you had to do to resolve your conflict in the presence of somebody's mother or grandmother. You just said to the person, yo, I'll see you later. And he'd be like, yeah, where you want to see me at? I see you up on the playground behind Park Heights Elementary. Oh, yeah, man, we're going to see you. Make sure you're not late, okay? And we would come do whatever we had to do, even though that was not even good. But we've gone from that to now high-powered weapons. Yeah. Why is it so easy for you to get weapons today? Why? It's never been easy for black people to get or own weapons in this country. Look at how they decimated the Black Panther Party. But the Black Panther Party were people who looked at the Constitution and said that we have a right to bear arms. But remember now, it was the Black Panther Party for what? For self-defense, not from one another, but from racist police. You better think, brothers and sisters, look, I can only repeat to you what I've been taught, man.
That's right.
But we're not playing, and we want you to understand this is a serious hour.
Right.
And we want you to man, this is not fun and games.
Right. Man.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother. I agree with you, brother Naba'a, 100%. And I think the scripture that you lay out, I think that to me that's the one I lay my foundation on, because it tells you right there who the children are, who the God would come to. I mean, there's no conversation that need to be had about that. The scholars already say that did not happen 4,000 years ago. If it had, there'd be plenty of evidence to demonstrate that there were people over in Egypt that were held in bondage for 400 years. And certainly, if they came over here and wanted to put us in slavery, I don't think they would be wanting to do any work like build pyramids. They didn't even have the technology or the know-how to build them as sophisticated as they have been. Not those Jews, so-called Jews who are over there now, coming out of Europe. No, not them. So that I wholeheartedly agree. Oh, I'll just add a few other things to what you said, Brother Naba'a, in regard to the senseless violence we have in our community. And as much as many of our people, as much as the nation is doing to get out there and talk some sense into some of the wrong-headed folks that we have out there that are doing things that obviously they shouldn't be doing, and others who are out there trying to quell the violence, man, Allah said, when these winds start blowing, they ain't going to just be blowing on our enemy. They're going to blow on us too. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our righteousness is going to be our only protection. So if we're not striving to get right with him and striving to do, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, make our communities a safe and decent place to live, those winds are going to be cold when they blow.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to get us and them along with them. We will be victims of Allah's wrath as well. So, yeah, man, the last thing I would mention is that, it used to be a time, Brother Naba'a, when we would watch TV and we would hear about some crazy murder, some crazy kidnap, robbery, murder, or whatever. And we would sit there and cringe and we would say, we hope it's not a black person. Right. And they would show a picture, and thank God we would breathe a sigh of relief when it wasn't a black person. But the closer we get to the enemy, the closer we integrate and assimilate into his society, the more we take on what he has demonstrated throughout his history toward darker people of the planet, and that is hatred and destruction. And so nowadays we're in these populations in the cities where there's mostly of us gathered together, and we're killing one another. And we see each other on the television because they love to show our pictures when they do show photos of folks who are so-called criminals. But, yeah, we got to stop it because there's going to be a rough day coming soon. And we see the disasters that are taking place, the natural ones that are taking place across this country, man. So I agree with everything you said, my brother.
Brothers, we got some people lined up on the phone line. Y'all can jump on and join the conversation tonight at 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690. You're listening to Straight Words, Brother Naba'a, Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad, and yours truly, Brother BJ. Cliff, let's go to you. You on WVON on Straight Words. Peace, brother. Go ahead and talk to us.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, brothers. Thanks for taking my call. But Naba'a, we had this conversation before in terms of some of our brothers that are not being positive in our community. And my thought was to, if they can't be productive and be an asset in our community, then we don't need them. And I think you and I was saying, you were basically responding back to me by saying that we need to love these brothers. And then my follow-up response was, how long is this going to take? And we don't have time for this because we're at a critical and a crucial point in our black community. This whole agenda is to destroy the black man and the black family. And Brother Art speaks on that constantly in terms of, and I give him credit for that, even though it might sound annoying to people, but he talks about the black family, the black man and the black woman, not a white woman, not an Italian, not a Puerto Rican, but the black woman, which includes the black family. And so we're at war. And my issue is that, you know, as it relates going back to God, God is willing to save us only if we turn to him. So if we're not willing to worship him, to follow him, and obey him, and we're living contrary to him, why would God want to save us? You know, and to bring it to a more visual and current situation, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saving us. He's teaching us how to live, how to eat, how to respond, you know, what vaccines to take, what not to take, you know, so he can't make us do this. And Brother Art would have this, he would have this dialogue or this debate saying, why isn't the Nation of Islam doing more to save these people? And my response was, why aren't and when the black community submits and turn and follow the minister, the teachings of the minister, then we can be saved. So God can't make us do anything. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can't make our people do anything. We got to have a desire to listen and to repent and to submit to those who are helping us, God, and currently speaking in person, you know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so that's not happening. As a matter of fact, my last point, not only are the brothers in the street not listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but we got our leaders. You know, we got church members that don't want to listen. And so this is my last point, you know, and I promise, because right now it disturbs me and it's so disgusting to see black folks fighting over these two white boys. I've never seen nothing like this in my life, you know, and none of them. And I can tell you, and I was in by saying this, man, I don't believe any of them, Biden nor Trump, have a soul. You know, I'm not feeling nothing they saying. I'm not feeling, man, none of their State of the Union addresses, the debates. I'm not feeling none of that. And the only ones I can get a feeling from is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, man, because he speaks truth. He speaks to the soul of black people. And that's the only thing that touches me. Other than that, man, I'm sick of black folks, man. I want to support Biden. I want to support you. At least, even on that note, man, Sister Kamala Harris with her white husband, even she got a little bit of soul, she can relate to black people a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, brother? So that's where I'm at right now. But I digress. But I just want to share that.
Walaikum salam.
Right.
Hey, Brother Cliff, man, thank you always, you know, for participating. Yeah. And thank you for your thoughts. I think absolutely, man. I'll say this, Cliff. Being a redemptive work, right, doesn't mean you condone the evil that's being done, right? But you understand the core source of the evil. And you have now been acquainted with a body of knowledge that saved your life and changed your behavior. I wasn't no big-time criminal when I heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But I had stuff in my life, man, that I needed to clean up because that stuff was damaging to people that I was doing emotionally, right? You know, trying to be a heartbreaker or breaking hearts and not caring.
Right.
There were things that I had to stop lying, man. I had to change the thinking in my mind and become more God conscious, not as some abstract ghost, but the power of God coming through me that I could change reality. So to be in a redemptive work is to be in that work that makes you able to produce a Malcolm X. And let me just say this, brother. Malcolm X ain't yesterday. Malcolm X is today. Both people coming out of prison and people coming out of the streets and changing their lives based on their teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So one of the things I said in my editorial this week is that we all have to do more. We all have to do more. I saw the mayor, video of the mayor press conference. He said some things. You know, he's distraught by these shootings the deaths of children and the deaths of 2 mothers. He is distraught. And I don't mean to be critical of him, because he really carries a heavy load being a mayor in a city where he's got to deal with conditions he didn't create. He's trying to change those conditions, but the conditions are deep-rooted. He also pointed out in his press conference that when they had that suburban mass shooting in the suburbs a few years ago, July 4th, right? He said that all of the services, or the level of
resources
that they got in the suburbs, the city of Chicago is not getting.
Right.
It's not getting them.
That's right.
So what does that tell us, brother and sister? To me, it says that our ability to work to get along with one another. And I humbly say this to the mayor. You want help. Minister Farrakhan offered you and others help at Savior's Day when he spoke. And he said, basically, since you can't do nothing with young people, turn them over to the Nation of Islam. Now, that's a serious offer. That ain't no joke, man. This man, I'm 62. This man been working for our liberation longer than I've been alive. I've been in the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 37 years. Then fought the police, got 37 stitches above my damn eye and all of that, man. Worked on stopping drug trafficking by Allah's grace with the mighty FOI out of Washington, D.C. back in the day. And when we stopped the drug trafficking there at Mayfair Mansions Apartments in Washington, D.C., guess who our biggest enemy was? It was the police in the area that was getting paid, man.
Right.
So my point is, this is a fight that we all have a role in playing. It's not going to happen. I mean, let me just, again, we say most police are good, but look, man, there are a lot of people that feel like they're trapped between the gangs and the police because they get abused and set up either way. A few weeks ago, the city of Chicago paid out a $50 million settlement to some brothers that were set up and unjustly incarcerated. $50 million. Huh? There's another piece that was in the Chicago Sun-Times. Okay? Another piece in the Chicago Sun-Times. And the headline is, Chicago police rebuff watchdogs' request to reopen probe into cops' ties to extremist oath keepers. It's one of them white extremist groups. But the thing about them is these people, quote-unquote oath keepers, they are sheriffs, man. They're police officers. They're deputies. They're people in the armed forces that say that their allegiance is to the Constitution, not to any duly constituted government. And this is a group that played a major role January 6, 2021 in the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, man.
Right.
So what does that mean? It means, brothers and sisters, look, we better get out here and we better come together. And I suggest you tell your political leaders, hey, call in Farrakhan and the Muslims. Call them in there.
That's right.
Because
they tried everything else, right?
You didn't try everything else. If you really, I want to say it like that. No. Brothers and sisters, I don't want to criticize people in a certain way. I kind of want to encourage them, right?
Yeah.
By trying to use logical arguments. But you cannot be a political figure in our community today and worry more about white folks in the Jewish community than saving the lives of our children.
Man, go ahead.
Go ahead, Brother James. Go ahead.
You're saying that, I mean, like you said, they tried everything else. The nation has showed results, positive results. If you put us against any other option that you've tried, our positives outweigh their positives and their negatives. We don't have the negatives that they bring with them. So why would you not, especially if it's in our community, saving our babies' lives, why would you not take an option that has proven to work? If it was a white group with, white leadership, and that's who they've been trying that have failed us, then they would openly call them in and provide whatever they needed to make them operable in their city. And the other question is, well, when we do get positive results, but ultimately get dropped because of pressure, who's bringing the pressure? Like you said,
that's right.
The police departments are, but predominantly it's people like the ADL, the Jewish Defense League, and the folks of that ilk who bring pressure to take away contracts that Muslim companies have had and deny, livelihood to our brothers who are risking their own lives to bring safety to our communities. The places you talked about, in D.C., Mayfair Mansion and Paradise Manor, they were slums. When the Muslims left, they're what? They're luxury developments now.
Yeah.
So why would you not, in Chicago, that is suffering this kind of devastation in our communities, and the minister has offered it, why would you not call his representatives into a room and an office or come to the mosque and let's sit down and work it out? Because we got brothers out there. When we go out, brother, I will end it on this. I mean, as we walk the communities, you could see, we have some beautiful areas and we have some blighted areas. But as you walk and you talk to our brothers and sisters, you can kind of see, okay, in this community, I can look at this household, see the young brothers on the porches, dogs in the yard, et cetera, and it seems no organizational structure there. Okay, you can kind of look at them, and as they say, the pipeline, that's where they're getting ready to enter into that pipeline. If not for the grace of a God, they are targets for that pipeline. Just the environment, you can kind of see it, unless they meet mentors, et cetera, et cetera. So that's happening. What we're offering is to be those mentors, to be those. We walk in the community, brothers, and the horns are honking. Yeah, brothers, and the people are coming up, speaking, loving us, et cetera.
Right.
And that's the impact. But that's real impact, man. It ain't fake either. So why would you not take the minister's offer, brother?
That's right. That's a good point, brother. We got some brothers on the line. Let's go to Art. JB, stand by. Brother Barney, you stand by, too. You're on WVON. Join the conversation tonight at 773-591-1690. Go ahead, Brother Art. You got the mic.
Hey, peace, brothers, to you all. The job is easy. There's nothing to figure out because the Creator has already gave us the blueprint, which is the family. If we get back to the structure of rebuilding the black family, which is the black man, black woman, and black children, and come collected together with a community code of conduct and a family value system, and all the leaders, those men and women who want to sit in leadership or are in leadership, all the organizations, black organizations, sit down at the table, start to bring the community in, and start to formulate how we want to govern our community. And choose 12 people from your community that are not pastors or preachers or politicians who can represent the community. Each community has a member of 12 people that is appointed or voted in by the community to represent that community. So when we have issues and problems, those community members can represent that community and come to the table. That's number one. Anytime we bring money into a situation, because I heard you say, brother, that the minister said, let us take on the problem. And I'm not sure if you mean by them contracting the Nation of Islam by the nation.
No, brother, the minister didn't say nothing about contracting. Period.
No, I didn't say the minister said. I said
no.
You said,
well, I'm saying what he said.
You gotta let me finish.
No. I want you to be real clear. Ain't no talk about money, man, and no contracting, because we do this work on a daily basis with nothing but the sincere love of our people and faith of Allah in our heart.
Okay, but you said that the minister said, let us take control or let us deal with our brothers, give the youth to us. Didn't you say that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I
what do
didn't
you
say
mean?
Give us a contract.
I'm trying to ask a question. Maybe the way what you said, maybe I misunderstand it. Because you said...
No, you definitely understood if you thought I was talking about money and contract.
Hold on.
I want to be real clear on that.
Okay, but you got to let me finish, brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said, you asked, that the minister said, let us deal with our own people. Let us sit at the table with you. So the minister asked...
No. He didn't say let us sit at the table with you, brother.
Okay,
you adding stuff. That ain't what I said. That ain't what I said. Thank you. We get ready for the next call. What I said was the minister said, turn our youth over to us. What does that mean? That means, one, stop being afraid and blocking us from our children, man. So you got where there's been a ban on Farrakhan and his ministers from being on college campuses and talking to young people. You've got politicians afraid when the minister was walking the streets over 10 years ago, man. 80-something years old, walking the streets of Chicago and other places with the FOI to lessen violence and increase the peace. What did you have? You had the Anti-Defamation League, the American Jewish Committee, and some white folks start complaining. And what did you get from the average black politician? And frankly, what did you get from the masses of our people? So we need to wake up. You had politicians start running, start apologizing. Because you know what these white people in these Jewish groups lying to say? What is Farrakhan doing in that community? He shouldn't be there. But they don't offer you a damn thing.
Come on.
And they're not concerned about the deaths of your children until somebody shows up to save the lives of our children. That should tell you something about the people you're dealing with. That should tell you something. If these people, they don't even say, well, I don't know, let's go in the back room and talk to Farrakhan. We understand that your children are dying. They don't say none of that. They basically say without selling it, to hell with your children. We don't want Farrakhan in the Muslim world. So that's another way, right? Turn the children over to us. Stop putting blocks in the way. Stop taking the minister off of social media. Stop having a whiteout against him on traditional media. That's what we're talking about. Stop impeding the flow of the message. A life-saving message to our people. That's what we're talking about. Stop the lies and the slander. Stop bribing. I'm going to say this one for real. Stop bribing some pastors and religious leaders so they don't work with Farrakhan, because that's what happened after the Million Man March.
Right.
Stop threatening black organizations. And if you found in a room with Farrakhan, we're going to destroy you. Man, Allen Iverson, one of my idols, man, took a picture with the minister, and they really excoriated that brother.
Right.
From a picture? This is how much they hate. But I'm going to tell you this, brothers and sisters. Every time you deny Farrakhan to the delight of your enemy, you're working against your own salvation.
Go ahead.
And you can take it or leave it alone.
Go ahead.
You're working against the man. You can't say he did nothing to black folk. You cannot say he ever sold out our interests. See, this man's been working longer than I've been alive. So, when he says, he ain't no Negro leader, man. He ain't following no damn money trail.
Right.
He ain't your average pastor. He's not your unprincipled person. He lives off of what Allah gives him, and damn it, what we give him as his followers. Let me be clear. Right. I give to him.
Right.
I give to him. And I've given thousands of dollars to the Nation of Islam over the last 37 years, and I'm damn proud of it.
That's right. Me too.
So let me stop, man. Go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. That was beautiful. I love that, brother. Put that, hey, archive that. Play that over and over again tonight. Hey, brothers and sisters, you're listening to Straight Words on WVON. Brother James, you got something real quick you want to get in?
No, sir, you got another call. Let's get the calls in, man.
Okay, real quick. All right, Brother JB, you're on WVON.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm talking solution. I went to the Million Man March. We had 2 million people there. We should have asked for land. I got land patent in my family. I'm playing Monopoly. Trump got his out of jail card. It's land, brother. Land patents. Hundreds of thousands of black folks got land patents. We going back to our land. We ain't listening to none of this rhetoric. We know what's going on. We're returning back to our land in America that our ancestors fought for, obtained, so we can grow our crops and raise our families on our family land. Mm-hmm. Everything else is just rhetoric. I mean, stop playing. Well, if you got some land, what would you do with it? You understand? All right. Mm-hmm. West, get your land, brother, because Brandon Johnson, he came up with this governmental food desert stores, right? When he could have went to black businessmen and black businesswomen and said, okay, here's an opportunity where y'all can create stores. He didn't do that. He created a socialist agenda. Y'all better see right in the wall. He could have done that. That was an opportunity. Get your land,
all right, brother. Man, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We got some more callers we got to get to. Thank you, though, for calling, JB. Appreciate it, all man. Right, and land is critical to our success.
Yes, sir. Brother Barney, go ahead. You're on WVON.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother DJ, Brother Naba'a, Brother James Dree. Brother Naba'a got fired up, brother, and ready to go. Well, praise to Allah. That's why we need this radio station program, brother. That's beautiful, brother. I just want to make a couple of comments. First, for Cliff, I want to let him know we have to be very careful about who we talk about discarding. If God was to punish us for our sins, there would not be one soul left on the earth. Come on. One of the greatest attributes that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is portraying of Allah is beneficence and mercy. And so some of us today know that had Allah decreed on us in our younger days, we wouldn't be here on this radio station talking about anything. So, and for those in the street, we need to understand the Million Man March was almost 30 years ago. These youngsters, many of them haven't heard. So when I hear all of this going on in the street about the shooting, I have to look at myself and blame myself because we were told to go into these streets 24/7 because we have the light that would stop this, as you so eloquently, Brother James, Brother Nob, and Brother DJ have shown them about the work that we did going into the projects, bringing the murder rate to zero. So we have the program. And for our brother, humbly, said that it's an easy thing to do and start giving a formula. No, sir. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this is the hardest job any man has ever had. That's right. Annals of history. And try to get our people up. So, and God came in July 4th, 1930 and gave us the blueprint. We don't need to reproduce anything. You need to join on to your own, get behind the commander-in-chief. And he already has given us that, including the economic blueprint. As the messenger said, we need some land we can call our own. We got the economic blueprint. So all of this is here. So we have to ask our people to come together under the banner that God gave us and the universal flag of Islam. I just wanted to make that statement. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Brother Bye. Brother Calvin, you're on WVON. Go ahead and talk to us.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Mix along, sir.
I'm actually calling in for the next round or the show with the Student Assistant Supreme.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, sir. Hold your comments, brother. Let's save that good information for next hour, brother. We on fire tonight, Brother Naba'a, Richard Muhammad, Brother James G. Muhammad. We are here talking about a serious subject. And like you said, brother, this is a serious radio show for a serious time. We ain't playing when we got so many murders, vicious murders. Let me tell y'all what's going on in Charlotte in the past 24 hours. 4 dead. Brother, they had somebody that they dropped off at the hospital and went over there and shot up the hospital. Tried to shoot the person at the hospital. Now, these are things that are happening in Charlotte that never have happened. Never. They're telling people to stay inside overnight hours until they figure out what's going on, because they don't know what's going on. The city is spiraling out of control, brother. It's one of the newest cities on the scene. Everybody's moving to Charlotte. One of the top cities for black people, black entrepreneurs. But the crime is crazy. And you could just feel it, feel that energy, man. And I told them a couple of years ago, I said, brother, Charlotte might be a future Chicago because we have incompetent leadership that don't know what they're doing. And we see what's happening right now. We have all these programs, right? These alternative violence programs in these cities. And I know in the city of Chicago, brothers are working real hard, and in other cities, but I'm just seeing a lot of play that people are not being real serious about trying to help our people. It's like a paycheck. And I'm glad what you said, Brother Naba'a, about the FOI, man. We out here risking our lives, brother, because we love our people, man. And that needs to be said more, man, because y'all think that we out here playing. We ain't playing. We put our life on the line. Our wives don't know if we coming home tonight when we go out in some of these streets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. So I just want to put that in there. Anyway, brother and sister, we got the powerful guest coming up next hour. Tell them who's coming up, Brother James G. You know this man real well.
Oh, man, brother. If this is the man I would like to have with me when I go into battle, brother. Because I know we're going to come out victorious. We're talking about Grandmaster, right? Brother Abdulaziz Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Talking about our training.
That's right. So stand by, brothers and sisters, for that. You'll get a chance to call in and ask him some questions as well as we go to the top of the hour. And so let's wrap this up.
Support us, brother.
Yes, sir. I got to tell them right now, go to the website, straightwords.com, straightwords.com. This is how you can support this program and this serious hour with a serious message every Tuesday. Go to our website. You'll find all the information on how you can donate every week to keep the program going. We've been going strong, and we want to keep going strong because we black, strong, and unapologetically pro-Farrakhan. You're listening to WVON 1690, Straight Words on the Talk of Chicago.
Go make a...
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.